Part of a caregiver's job is to be good company, and you certainly are that.
My mother, I believe she was murdered. I think the killer might already be dead.
Do yourself a favor, detective. Let her rest in peace.
I think I might be going crazy. I keep dreaming things or seeing things. I don't know which it is. Is there anyone else inside this house?
There's nobody here but you and me.
There's something evil haunting this house. It wasn't a bad dream, not my imagination. Okay, for the last time, I'm telling you the truth.
What's your name?
Juliet.
If you survive the night, Juliet, the bitch will be defeated.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Night of the Caregiver, available right now on all those on-demand streaming apps. Go check it out. Go give it a watch. We've been loving it over here at the Nerds Rule the World channel. We've talked to Joe Cornette. We've talked to Alexander Nevsky. We've talked to Natalie Denise Sperl. And now a legend, y'all. He has over 40 years in the business. Friends with Tarantino. Oh my gosh. He's worked with Mark Dacascos. I know I always brutalize his last name. Amazing. Y'all know I'm a martial arts fan. And he's a martial arts practitioner himself. I was checking out his IMDb. Legendary cat. So honored to have him to talk further about Night of the Caregiver, as well as his illustrious career and everything he has planned up. So honored. I'm unpinning myself. You see him on the screen, Mr. Craig Hamann. Air horns are going off, Craig. They're in post, so you don't get deafened. But I love to celebrate when we bring on new guests. Thank you for your time today.
Oh, thank you, Patrick, so much.
Appreciate you. So let's talk Night of the Caregiver. We've been talking all about it. I talked with Joe, talked to Alex, talked to Natalie. So I'm honored to have the guy that actually put pen to pad, or fingers to the keyboard, if you will, that made this all happen. Because from what I understand with those conversations, Joe and Alex weren't horror guys. This was like, I think their first horror project.
They weren't. I got to tell you, be honest, I was kind of surprised the first time Alex called me up and said, what do you think about doing a horror film? And they know that myself, that I do have a background in that genre. So I got really excited when he said that. And
just looking at that guy, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's as big. He's a big guy, big bodybuilder, but he's such a nice guy. His heart is bigger than he is. But and then talking to Joe too, he was all up for it as well. And Joe just said he just didn't want to do a zombie movie. He said there's so many of them out there. I said, no problem, we'll do something else, And so I decided, well, let's go a little more paranormal, something like that. And Alex and I knocked out plot for it, which we often do. When I work with Alex, one of the things I really like about him as a producer is he's very specific. I'm not out there all by myself trying to figure out, what do these guys want me to do? Alex is real nice about, we'll go from here to there. And he did that here. He said, this is what I like. And then he called me up one day, and I'm the one who had brought Natalie Denise Sperl to Gunfight at Rio Bravo. And he asked me, he said, do you think Natalie can play this role after I'd written the script? And I said, absolutely. Because I have the utmost confidence in her. I've seen her act for a long time, and I've known her for a while. And so she got cast. Then they asked me, who can we have play Lillian? And I said, I think I know just the person. And so I got a hold of Eileen. She was interested. And so then I had Eileen Dietz and Alex, they connected, and Joe and them connected, and they got cast. And you saw the movie. The wonderful thing about that is not only are they both good actresses, but their chemistry together, I think it surprised everybody. You can't predict that.
Yeah, very important. To get into the feel of the film
right away. First scene, whatever. it was right there. And everybody, I know Joe was really happy with that as the director. And me too. All of us are. So that's how they got involved. And, the rest is history. Joe found a wonderful house to shoot at. And if you look at the movie, yes, there are some things that in the backdrops that we did. Okay. But a lot of the house, even some of the things you see, some of the knickknacks, it's the way the house really is. So it was creepy. It was really nice. And it worked really well for the script.
Yeah. I heard there were some kind of moments on set. Were you there on set here and there
I was.
Did you experience any of that?
Not to be a downer, but no, I didn't.
But just amazing.
I can understand.
Just love that, as well.
Yeah, I can understand it. Look, you're doing a horror film. You're in a house that's so creepy that you're already uncomfortable. And then some of the scenes with the very minimalistic lighting and everything, I'm sure the actresses, it had to be a little spooky for them at least. So yeah, I can understand it. I certainly can.
So I want to go from a writer angle. Like, what do you? It must be a pleasure. You writer on this. I don't know if you're a producer on this and assisting Alex and the team and Joe to outside of writing, but watching your story come to life. I really like the practical effects that were utilized as well with makeup on Natalie and everything. What do you still get those kind of cool vibes, that energy when you see it just all come together, on this project?
No, every time.
And you brought Natalie, so like seeing Natalie bring your character to life.
Yeah, not only a friend who's doing a good job too. When I write, I love writing. I love writing, and writing this script was fun because I also love the horror genre. I really do. I think it's just a great genre. And I do think that it's a genre where you have a chance to maybe stretch the envelope a little bit and do things like that. So I was real excited about it. And I was very excited when I saw it too. I was very pleased with what they did. And they kept a lot of my script in there, almost word for word. In fact, most of it is. The only thing I did not write was the tag at the end. But aside from that, everything else, man, they kept my dialogue in there, and it was great to see Eric Roberts. I was very excited about it. I really was, and I love it anytime. Same thing with Gunfight at Rio Bravo. Same thing. When I wrote that, Western, another genre that I just love, and Alex comes to me and says, "I'd like to do a Western." I couldn't believe it. I said, "Great."
Yeah.
Then we did Taken at Rio Bravo. That's the second one. Now it's still in post right now.
Okay.
But it's going to be, I think, pretty darn good. Maybe better than the first one. There's a different story to it, but it's still an action Western, and it's still in pursuit of somebody who's bad. And there's some surprise performances in it. Sam Dobbins as I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah, don't spoil.
Yeah,
we'll have you back when it's out, so we can talk more on. If you don't mind, I'd love to have you back to talk more when it's available.
Plays a character called Wesley Garrett, and when you see Wesley Garrett, you'll see. And there's other good performances too. Alex, like in Gunfight at Rio Bravo, I thought he really handled himself well, and Joe does too as a sheriff. And they do again in Taken and Rio Bravo. Again, and in Taken and Rio Bravo, they also have a little bit more time, the two characters, to kind of establish their friendship. They had some of that in Gunfight, but now they have a little bit more of it in Taken, and it's really nice to see. It is, because you want to know that these guys do care about each other. And then we also have a third one that we have not shot yet, though. And of course, a lot of that has to do with the strikes, because we really can't shoot it. And they're all taken care of. I know the WGA came to terms, which is great, but SAG still has to do that.
Yes, we're still fighting right now. Trying to remind folks about that. But yes, that's amazing. I don't think we talked in my other conversations with Alex and Joe about Taken in Rio Bravo. So I know now we all can look forward to it, y'all. Go check out Gunfight in Rio Bravo, available right now. And we got wind of a third. When those projects come along, I would love to have you back to talk on those, Craig. So that way we can talk without worrying about spoilers and everything.
I love Westerns. No, I'll tell you, we were really honored. We did the first one, and boy, I mean, before it even came out, the distributors said, we want a sequel. And we were, oh, well, sure. And they did the same thing. Let's have a trilogy. And okay, so it's really quite flattering that they wanted it, and they sold a lot of territories with Gunfight. And I think we're giving them 3 good movies. I really do.
Okay.
I'm confident in that.
Well, since we're kind of talking about sequels, I don't know if you saw in my conversations with Alex, Joe, and Natalie, Night of the Caregiver, part 2, you said you also like writing horrors. Is there a sequel in you for this, or a third? I kind of threw one. I don't know if you saw I don't know if it was Joe or Alex, but I'm Filipino, very proud Filipino. There's a lot of Filipinos in the caregiving business, nurses. I'd love a Filipino version because we have our own mythology of, duendes, mythological creatures in the Philippines. So if you ever kind of want to do a Filipino version, Craig, I'd love to see it and be in it. But any thoughts on 2 or 3?
Well, it's a little early to talk about it.
Okay.
But I don't think I'm betraying confidence in saying that Joe and I have discussed that possibility, because we both really love Night of the Caregiver, and he really, really enjoyed directing horror. He really did. That was his first horror direction. And he really had a good time with it. It was fun for him. And anything you do in this industry, sure, it's work, but it's fun to use your imagination. And he had a great time. And so did Natalie, and so did, Eileen. So, I mean, and I don't think Alex would be opposed to doing a sequel either. I don't know.
Yeah, let me not get you in trouble. I don't want to get you in trouble with them because, they were like, okay, wink, wink. So I told Alex, he just, again, his size, form, like the ultimate vampire baddie, future Jason Michael Myers kind of character,
Yeah.
But
I don't know if he would take to doing that, but
I'm sure. Yeah, he's a big old. He sounds like a big old teddy bear. But you love to play opposite. That's why we act. It's called acting.
Absolutely.
So Night of the Caregiver, again, everybody, let me remind y'all, it's out, available on all streaming platforms. Go check it out, as well as Gunfight on the Rio Bravo. And as we heard, there's some sequels happening, so you'll want to catch up right now for when those happen. Really excited about that.
Alex and I did a film called Showdown in Manila.
You know what? That is on my to-do list after talking with Alex. I saw that you worked on that as well.
Yes. And Mark Dacascos directed it. And plus he does acting in it, but Alex is the lead.
I don't know why I haven't seen that yet. It's insane to me.
Casper Van Diem is great, and he's very funny. But it's another action piece, and it was shot completely in Manila and outside of Manila. But, saying that you're from the Philippines, I mean, you might recognize some home ground there, because it's but I don't want to say too much about that. You're going to see it, right?
Was that your first time filming overseas there?
I didn't make it over there. I had to do another. I was busy on another project. It's too bad. I would love to, but I mean, it certainly was the first time I ever did anything that was shot in the Philippines. I never had.
Okay,
and the experience, I think, was rewarding for everyone.
Amazing. I saw you also worked with Mark on other projects, and let's go into some history, man. Over 40 plus years. Acting as well as, consulting, kind of taking indie films and being that ghostwriter. And I've been that before. And just your own story kind of history. And, we all have our own issues, and then consulting on Pulp Fiction. But I love that, you're still continuing that fight and working hard and going for your passions, Craig. But just, what you've seen is like gems that I think any of us young filmmakers could just value just so much. I don't know where to start, but like, from where we're going, and actually, you know what? Right now, I'm in fear with the strikes. The strikes are occurring as an actor with AI. I recently watched The Creator screened that the other night for future coverage on the channel. It's kind of scary with where we're going. And so I'm curious with your years in the business as creative, how do you feel about right now with, we're hopefully now we've got a deal with WGA, SAG, we're trying to find a deal. I'm just, if you don't mind, I'd love your knowledge of where you see and hope with the future of creativity.
Okay. Look, when it comes to AI, I have some personal feelings about it. I really do. And part of that is I'm doing, Sam Dobbins and myself are putting together a television show, a streaming show called Smokers. And the villains in that are, they are AI.
Okay.
And I've done a bunch of research on it, and I've listened very carefully to people talk about it too. And, you talk about the strikes. These strikes are happening, in my humble opinion, because of greed. And if greed gets a hold of AI, which I believe it will, if it hasn't already, there's not going to be a lot of conscience there. It's all going to be for, making money and what can I get, And AI, I don't mind seeing AI used now and then, that's fine, but I just don't want it to be a constant where you don't have real actors, or you've got AI, for crying out loud, trying to write screenplays. I think that'll be disastrous.
Oh yeah, there's no heart.
Yeah, or even, beyond that, I mean, just doing the whole film. I don't want to see that. I don't.
Same. This
is our job. This is our work. And as people, we try to relate to other people and to our lives out there. And AI is not going to do that, not the way we can. So I have some pretty personal feelings about that part. Going back to something else you said, Mark Dacascos. Right there. Yeah.
Yes. I was wondering why it was kept on popping to mind. It's the boogie boy poster.
Mark and I have been friends for a long time. Both of us have been into martial arts for a long time. We used to train together and things like that too. Boogie Boy was something I wrote because I had when I was younger, I had a very difficult time with drugs. And so I wrote Boogie Boy, which is really more of an anti-drug movie. And I really wrote the lead role for Mark. And I was so happy that he could play it. And he did a hell of a job on it. Really good job. And then when he was going to do his first directorial debut, which was Showdown in Manila, I was really pleased to be the one that both he and Alex wanted to write the script. So I hope to work with him again someday. It's not easy because everybody's busy.
Yeah.
And, but if we can, that would be fantastic.
Awesome. So action, Westerns, horror genres. What are some of the bucket list items? Again, you've been in this business a long time, seeing all sides of the coin. What are you have your upcoming series? I don't know if you want to talk more on that, but what's some of your bucket list items still, if you mind me asking, Craig?
Bucket list things I want to do. You Bet Smokers is one of them.
Yeah,
absolutely. The series is very big for me. There's a movie, that script I wrote. It's presently being rewritten. It's for a movie, a black and white movie.
Oh,
called,
like noir?
Broken Brothers. Yeah, and it's about 4 guys and 2 girls, and they were in the service, and they are here now, back. But and they served in different times and different eras, and they're together. They're homeless, and they're trying to survive. And the lead character, a man named Remley, also played by Sam Dobbins, we see like his last couple days alive because he also has cancer.
Oh,
and so we go through that, and we see what it's like. How they live their lives, and how there is still humor, and there is heart, and there is struggle. And I'm very excited about that. And other things in the future too are things that Joe and I don't want to bring up.
Yeah, don't want to have that.
We have talked about, because I really like writing with Joe as a director. We see, like, even in Night of the Caregiver, we have a lot of the same we're fans of the same genres and the same people who worked in those genres.
Wonderful.
For example, in Italian horror films, we both like Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci, and the like. And we also we like spaghetti westerns, and we like so there's a lot of Italian stuff we like, and we took some tributes in Night of the Caregiver here and there. There's some things, small ones, but they were still there. So we have some ideas coming up regarding that too, and I'm looking forward to that. There's a western that I think we may end up doing, and Joe is actually going to be releasing as a book. And we may end up doing that as a film.
Ooh, awesome.
When I first moved down here, one of the things about my career is I never know what's going to hit me next. Because when I first moved down here to be a writer, the first gigs I got was stunt gigs on straight to video things.
Yeah.
And that was because of martial arts, just, being one of the guys in the background, And when I finally got writing, it was really with a film called My Best Friend's Birthday, which I did with Quentin. And
that you met in acting school, from what I saw.
Yeah, we did. We met at James Best Theater Center, became really good friends and pretty much best friends in the 80s. And, we didn't know what we were doing, but I'm really proud of the film because even though we had no idea what we were doing, we jumped into it. We weren't afraid to. We did.
You got to.
It became, for him and for me, that was our acting school. That was our film school. That was our directing school. That was, our writing school. It was our film school, all of the above. It was our way of actually putting something on film and then showing it to people. And to this day, I'm really grateful for that experience. And a guy named I'm really Andrew. It's my friend too.
All love to you, Andrew.
He wrote a book called About My Best Friend's Birthday.
Yes, yeah, I read about that. I caught that.
Andy Rausch.
Yes,
and he did a good job, and he interviewed a lot of people that were connected to that movie. So it's kind of a neat book to read because it's kind of this is what we were going through in the beginning. And how everything surprised us because we weren't ready for anything.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that I did that. And from that, after that, I met the late and great Catherine James, and she helped me with my career as far as getting my writing going. She even said to me at one point, what do you really want? What are you focused on? Because this week you're an actor, next week you're a writer. What do you want to do? And I chose writing above all of it. It's my favorite one. And so she really helped me get my career together. And she was the one that somebody first approached her needing a ghostwriter. And I got into that then after a while, but that was real ghostwriting, not just uncredited us, polishes and stuff. You have to sign an NDA and, and the pay for it for me was some of the best money I've ever earned as a writer. Oh. So I did that for a while and I actually enjoyed it. I can honestly say I wish some of them could be on my IMDb page, but I can't say I didn't enjoy doing the work.
Yeah.
And, so the rest is history as far as, there's a gap or two here in my IMDb, but I did work. I did make good money.
Yeah.
And I had a heck of a good manager and good friend in Catherine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know that full well. I a lot of my IMDb is security industrials. I live here in the Washington, D.C. area. I travel to L.A. every now and then, but a bulk of my work is in the security industrial realm, Craig. And unless you have a security clearance, you're trying to get a job with the military or some, 3-letter intel agency, you're not going to see it. So a lot of that can't even be put out there. But you do work, and to see that growth too as well is also amazing. I wanted to ask you on a creative front as a writer, creative. blocks. We all hit those blocks. You know, I know you practice martial arts. I'm curious what you tell other filmmakers and creators when you hit the blocks, or, you know, by virtue of what you do to conquer those blocks. How do you reignite whenever you hit the wall on something?
Well, there's two things that I do. And one is, if I really have a block and I'm hitting my head against the wall and I just can't get past it, I've got to take some time off. I really do. I have to get away from the project for a little while, because I'll be thinking about it while I take the time off, and I can go do something else, like, you know, play a video game or something, or take a walk or whatever, or exercise, whatever. But oddly enough, a lot of the ideas that break the blocks seem to come to me at night. I wake up with them. I don't get that, but that's how it is. Another thing, though, too, that's worth doing before you give up is just, if it's a block, usually it's because whatever you're trying to write isn't working. And you know, what needs to be changed? And usually that's what it means, is there's something that is a character who isn't being true to him or herself, or there's something that's in the story that's more of a plot device than it's something that's really interesting, or maybe you got a cliche or something in there. I mean, I don't know. I usually find when I get stuck, it's because I really need to go a different direction with something. And that usually works. And then if I try to go a different direction, it's still not working, then I do step away. I need to take a break. Then I'm just cluttered, you know.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I think it's always important, because I have a lot of creatives that watch what I do, and it always helps.
I'm sure people have their own ways of dealing with it, but that's what I do. And it happens to everyone. And if you're going to be a writer, you got to get used to it, but it's going to happen.
So
probably with the project you do. So, yeah.
Very true. So if I could take it back to Night of the Caregiver, you worked with Alex. I'm curious where the first kind of gem of the idea came for this. You know, you came off Night of Gunfight at the Rio Bravo. Alex wants to do a horror. You know, you have like horror in you. You know, so like you sat down. He said he wanted to do a horror. What came first? Did like you see the Caregiver? What idea kind of came in? Light bulb.
Well,
and then
I knew Alex wanted to do something fairly contained.
Oh.
But what I did was I wrote up, trying to remember how many, I think maybe about anywheres from 8 to 10 paragraphs, each one with a different, kind of a different plot. So I just gave him a chance to look over all these different ideas.
Okay.
And the first one I had written was the one he chose. And it was very close to what we, the synopsis was very close to what we did with Night of the Caregiver. There were some changes. But he liked the whole idea of a caregiver going out to this house, meaning well, but then getting caught in something that she could not control. And something, evil. And I did too. And that's how it all started out, really.
Love it. Awesome. Yeah, it works to have a good partner to play off of and exchange. I think to really, especially when you hit blocks, to have that exchange of information to okay, settle on this or whichever. That works out a good deal. Eileen Dietz, if I could also throw again shine. We mentioned her earlier, but if you are living in a shell somewhere, Exorcist, y'all. We talked about it on other projects, but I'm a big fan of her. I think I told Joe when I first talked to him. Whenever I walk down into my studio, I have an autograph wall. I have her and her signature with the puke and everything as I come down. You brought her onto the project and you spoke with her, working with her and seeing her with Natalie. If we could just talk about Eileen maybe a little bit.
Eileen, I first met her through Todd Sheets. Do you know him? Todd Sheets? He's a director, a really good one. Okay. He did a film. He did several films that I saw that I really liked. But when he did Bone Hill Road, which is a werewolf movie, I it knocked my socks off. And so I met Todd through Linnea Quigley. And then Todd and I ended up at a convention together. And Eileen just happened to be there. I knew who she was. And I think it was Todd who introduced me to her. And we talked a little. And she said, hey, man, let's be Facebook friends. I said, sure. And really the only conversations we had were, on Messenger and that type of thing. But we still got to like each other. We were Facebook friends. And I thought of her right away for this movie because it just seemed to me like out of all the people out there, this was a good role for her, that she would bring something to it. And she, in fact, did. I'm really glad I thought of that. And I'm glad that Alex and Joe were impressed with her as well, because she, and again, going back to the chemistry between her and Natalie, that was so important and it worked so well.
Yeah, Natalie is such a star as well. I had a delightful conversation with her, y'all. Go check it out, everybody, if you haven't seen that one on the channel. Yeah, just amazing soul and rock star vibes all through.
She's got a lot of talent. Natalie does, in a lot of different areas. It's all kinds of things she knows how to do. And I'm hoping she can explore all those areas. And I know that she would like to tour with her band too, and maybe play with, be an open act for some bands too or something. Yeah. And I'd love to see that.
Definitely. So we can look forward to what we can slightly talk about is the next Rio Bravo installment, a possible third. We're not going to get too much in there, and other projects with Joe, amazing, and Alex. You got some great creative friends over there. As those projects come, as I told them, I'd love to have you back, Craig, to talk more on it. I'm kind of half curious though, because you're also an actor as well. Yeah, are you totally giving up on the acting bug? Or are you just wanting to write and not kind of?
I left SAG. Look, when I did Boogie Boy, I wrote a role for myself. Okay. And the role was Freddie. And Freddie was friends with a guy named Jason. Hint, hint. Yeah. But no, so as a director, here I am. I've got actors coming in. And Ben Browder walks in. Okay. And I read him for the role of Freddie, thinking in the back of my mind, look, I'm going to play this role, but let's see, maybe Ben's right for something else. Ben kicked ass as Freddie. And after he left, I said to my casting director, Hank McCann, I said, that's better than I can do. I can't do that role like that. That was amazing. And I wanted what was best for the film. And so I cast Ben. And I stayed out of it. I didn't play a role. And later on, I was thinking about it because Catherine had said to me more than once, oh, there goes my poster. More than once, what do you want to do? Let's focus first and foremost on that. We can do the other stuff too, but let's focus on that. And still, it was writing. So I got to thinking about it. I'm going to write other things that probably I'd like to act in, but somebody's going to come in there and probably, in my opinion anyway, be better. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to give it up for a while. I called SAG up, and I can always get back in when I want. But I decided to, back out for a while. And I stayed out for a long time now, for probably close to 20 years. And I'm not sorry about it at all. I love acting too. I really do. But it's enough just trying to get things together as a writer, trying to, knock on doors.
Yeah, a lot of people say I do too much, but I just can't stop. If I find an id, I go that way. But you got the look, man. You still got a good-looking guy. You got charisma. You got some good gravitas to your voice. I could see you playing some good character roles there, Craig. But if you're going to continue to deliver great stuff like Night of the Caregiver, you're going to give us some Bravo films. And like I said, I have some ideas for the future Caregiver films. I don't know if I said that to you, but I kind of told that. Well, about the Filipino version that I threw out there. But I can't wait to see what you're going to do, Craig. And it's an honor, pleasure to speak with you. With just your history in this business, I'd love to mine it for just more knowledge, because I think if we don't learn from those that have been in it, we're bound to repeat mistakes. And there's, I'm sure, lessons that we can be learned and taught, but vice versa. That I think will be helpful for all of us that love this field. Consider it an art.
You never stop learning in this business. True. There's always something new there, and there's always someone who's a little wiser.
Definitely. Well, Craig, it's an honor and pleasure to speak with you. Again, like I said, I'd love to have you back as these other projects develop. You're always welcome.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much, Bill.
Are there any socials that I can throw out to the people that might be listening while driving? I'll also include all the links to where y'all can see the films we talked about, Night of the Caregiver. That'll be in the description. But anything out there for people that want to check you out, Craig?
Probably more of the obvious ones like Amazon. I think that would be a good one. A lot of my stuff, you're going to find it there.
Okay.
No, that's probably, the answer everybody gives, but really it's such a big, they have such a big library, and that's a good place to see, my films. And
is the Quentin one, the early one you did on there?
My best friend's birthday. Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure Amazon has it, but
maybe the book though. We can get the book.
I can tell you right now, on almost any movie I've done, if you type in on Google, let's say my best friend's birthday online, you'll find it.
Okay.
I can promise you that. You can find pretty much everything that I've had a hand in just by saying, putting the title there and then just saying online, and you'll find it somewhere.
Gotcha. I'm very curious about that because it's such a moment in time. Early Quentin, early you, film school guys. That's always intriguing to me. I like seeing when the first project of icon directors, seeing how they developed. Like I even looked up Stallone back in the day. He did like a porno film, I think it was.
Yeah, he did.
just because
about that, and he said, and I understand this. He said, "Look, let's either do that or starve."
Exactly.
I get it. And for Quentin and I, again, when we did My Best Friend's Birthday, what I'm so proud about is that we didn't know anything. We both loved movies, but we had never shot anything.
I love it though. We all got to start somewhere, and it just shows that it's a realistic goal, I think, for anybody. That you just got to do it, and then you learn by virtue of doing, and then you build and build and build, and you be a legend like Craig Hamann over there. Again, a pleasure and an honor to speak with you, sir. Everybody, I'll have the links to Craig's work in the descriptor below. Again, we'll have Craig hopefully back with these other projects. But it's your boy Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Night of the Caregiver, available on all digital platforms. Go check it out right now after you get done watching this. We're out.